Welcome, dear audience, to episode 5 of The Cringe of Power. The show so badly written, I am honoured to be able to tell my son when he's biglier that I was there. I was there when Jeff Bezos legit thought he was going to get his very own Game of Thrones, but ended up spending $1 billion on a show that was written on toilet paper recovered from the sick bucket of a donkey diarrhea ward. Yes, this is season 8 level of Game of Thrones on crack. It's the scene when Jon Snow is about to reveal he's a Targaryen, but Dumb and Dumber cut away from it. It is the part when Arya comes out of literally nowhere to end the Night King, when her character arc had absolutely nothing to do with it, so they retrofitted dialogue in a previous season to justify this outcome. It is the sudden face change when Daenerys comes onto a heavy flow, and then Otto Spaghettio's King's Landing. It is the worst of everything written by hacktivist writers who are more interested in diversity bingo tickets than writing an actual good show. Here it is, Bezos. I hope it smells just as bad as it's written. Alright then, so let's get into audience. Let's get walking apathetically down to Middle-earth once more, because this show is a slog and it is almost unbearable. Show beginning, here we are at Khazad-dûm, where the Big Daddy Durin and the rings have somehow, unknown to the laws of physics, teleported back to Khazad-dûm after his last scene chilling with Granny Celebrimbor after having just teleported to Aragion. Anyway, he's got the ring and it's whispering some very evil shite to him. But he ain't got any time to finger his ring piece because Khazad-dûm ain't got no windows and he needs to go find some. And since no one can dig new ones as the mountain is unstable, that means all the plants are gonna die and no one thought about going outside, hoeing up a field and sowing it for some kind of reason. But do not fear, audience. Big Daddy Durin has got a plan because his ring piece is telling him what he needs to do. Oi oi, we should dig right here. But Papa, this is a foundation wall. We can't dig that. You shut your bitch ass mouth up, Mini Durin. Did I mention I have a plan? So he gets smashing, and would you look at that? He was right this entire time, and there's the sun, but to everybody else's surprise, that wasn't a foundation wall, that's a supporting wall, like 1,000 meters above sea level, which they probably would have known considering they lived there. Unless the writers of this show are too stupid to use Google. Anyway, sun is lit, dwarves are saved, ring piece is magical. Kinda was hoping they were all going to die, but I guess this show wasn't made for me. So let's head to Aragion where Celebrimbor is having a halftime inspirational speech to the Elven forgers. Guys, I am so proud of all of you. We've totally made some really cool rings for all the dwarf lords that the show forgot to include. And even better, Leah, we've also made a really magical door that was from the films. Yes, I may have only invented a field in like 2 episodes ago and have been spending my entire time creating rings, but I definitely had time to make this too, and it's not just a lazy Easter egg that Amazon is shitting out. So they're all happy and smiling, but not Anatard though, who goes heading out to the balcony all upset. But like some kind of cheap made-for-TV romantic comedy, Celebrimbor follows him outside. Anatard, my love, is it something I said? No, my sweet, it's just all these happy, globally diverse elves living in harmony here are oblivious to the threat of a rising Mordor. They're gaining strength, Kellogg's. We need to make even more ring pieces to counter that evil. But this time we need to make them for mortal men. Mortal men? Are you mental? They are far too corruptible. No more rings, Anatard. I am done. Just think about it, bro. If the bestiest kings across the planet Middle-earth have rings, then they will stop Mordor from doing Mordor things. I am sorry, but I am not opening up my forge for other men. Fine, don't help then, you granny-ass bitch. I'm just gonna go fix my wig and go make them myself. Oh man, this is really bad. Celebrimbor isn't gonna help make the rings, and when the characters in this show say they're not gonna do something, they definitely don't do it. Oh wait, sorry, I was thinking of something else. I meant to say every time a character refuses to do something in this show, they end up doing it because there are no stakes and it's about as predictable as horse shit. Anyway, scene transmission to the Númenor normies where Republican Rasputin is now the king because he stood in front of an eagle. And to my surprise, I just learned that the OnlyFans kid is actually his son. literally had no idea. Oh, and also his mum's dead and made a prophecy that he's gonna die really, really badly. It's so sad. But that aside, Republican Rasputin has a job for him to do, and it ain't gonna be easy. Alright then, quick check-in with the literal Yas Queen while we're here, who's being told by Isildur's dad that even though she isn't a super cool queen of power anymore, and that's really, really sad, the people of Númenor land are speaking their quiet prayers in hope that she will return to the throne once more, and she will rule over Westeros wisely. Oh, sorry, wait, no, I meant Númenor. I got confused because that is literally the whole Daenerys storyline. They literally ripped off Game of Thrones right in the face. But it's okay, as the literal Yas Queen just told Isildur's dad that when she looked into her bowling ball in the last season, Númenor got flooded big time. But strangely, when Isildur's dad looked into it, there was no flood anymore. So that means she doesn't want to be the queen anymore, because if she was to be the queen, then the flood will come. Yeah, absolutely no one cares about this storyline. I just want them to all die. But while that's happening, Durin has taken Disa on a day out to the market hoping to spend all those food stamps. Because if you remember guys, he's no longer the prince. But as they walk, Disa the cannon sees a broken bowling ball that she has just got to get for some kid's birthday. Hey Dur, I know we're flat-end broke and living off government welfare, but if we don't buy that random ass bowling ball that just came out of nowhere right now for a birthday party that I've just mentioned, then we cannot set up the next scene. What? A random bowling ball that is only there for a plot device? You know, because the writers can't think of anything else to set up the next scene? Well, spank me in the nuts, how much is it? It's 200 marks because your twat dad has increased taxes. My god, he's increased taxes at the precise point he put that ring on? That definitely means the ring is making him do evil things, and we have to make that pretty much our entire dialogue tree throughout this entire episode so the dumb head audience understands that the rings are evil instead of just showing it through character development. But as he pays for that bowling ball, suddenly Disa undergoes a diabetes attack, so it rolls off into the crowd, therefore she must go chase it. Oh well, very funny, I laugh a big time. But as it gets rolling while Disa regrets not having that Diet Coke earlier for lunch, somehow she bulldozes away into a mysterious cavern that just appeared out of nowhere. And then it does a massive bathtub water fart. Could that have been the show's ratings tanking even further? Or is it a totally evil Balrog below? Who cares? Plot device bowling ball is broken, so that was a complete waste of food stamps. So this head to Big Daddy Durin, who's got a bunch of dwarves over for a fantastic dinner because that man has a proposal to make and has something to do with the rings they made off camera. Hey guys, Middle-earth is really scary right now, and that could mean we undergo some kind of serious problem in the future. But I've got these rings right, and within them is power. Yes, power over earth, power over mountains. We've even got the power to call a supporting wall a foundation wall. So go back to your dwarf lords that no one in the audience has seen yet and tell them they can have a piece of my ring, but only if they give me half of their shit. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to create my very own Bane, although I'm the wrong Durin. So for those member berries, the big man gets planning to dig down even deeper because his ring is telling him that there's a whole load of goodies hidden underneath the mountain. Hey, we need to dig even deeper, dog. You know, like really, really deep and all that, because my ring piece told me we've got a lot of shit down there and we could bring it up. My god, you're crazy! You can't go digging that deep. You even said we couldn't, like last season or something. And on your orders, we wrote up regulations. Bitch, I'm the bloody king and I make the rules, and I'm now saying dig deeplier. Oh, that's actually a really good point, since you do set the rules, so me challenging them now is kind of just drama for no reason. It doesn't really make any sense. Excellent. But boy, I sure hope we don't encounter a Balrog down there. But just as he gets setting up basic canon that doesn't happen in this era, little Durin gets rolling up saying, "Oi oi, have you got a license to go digging that deep?" Also, Disa said there's something really ancient and totally evil deep below the mines. So you know, don't go digging that deep, bro. Nonsense, son Durin. We haven't even got to worry about awakening some kind of magical evil down there, because that will happen in the third age and it will yeet Durin the 6th to death, and you're literally only Durin the 4th. So chill the fuck out, bro. Fee you. I'm glad we got that cleared up, because for a second there, I thought they were going to go digging up a Balrog and cause Tolkien to spin even faster in his grave. So let's head over to Granny Celebrimbor, who's just heard a whole load of noise coming from the forge, and he must go investigate. But wait a minute, is that a ghost pissing around with all those tools down there? No, it's just a chipmunk elf lady, as she has a ring piece on and it's made her invisible. So Celebrimbor takes it off carefully to ensure that he does not get me too'd. But what she says next will bust everyone's nuts. Ugh. Kellogg's, I saw like other things when I had that ring on, like this room, but not this room. And Sauron was there. Good God, was he wearing a wig? No, he was like Walter White, and he was cooking up Mordor meth in the forges, but at the same time on fire. I think, based on this very small bit of information, that he's been an Aragion this entire time amongst us. Oh, that's a relief. For a moment there, I thought you were talking about my faithful companion, Anatard. He doesn't wear wigs, you know. He's completely natural. Say, why did that ring not work properly? How did it cause all of this oops-a-daisies? It's because Anatard worried that men were too corruptible based on your recommendations earlier, so put more mithril into the mix. More mithril? Are you mental? You don't want to do that. You need to put it... Wait a minute. Am I being manipulated to get involved in this ring making when earlier I clearly said I didn't want to? But just as Celebrimbor is about to bust his nuts, an elf rolls up telling him that Durin has teleported from Khazad-dûm with a really important message. Hey Kellogg's, wow, it was such a long journey here. Oh, and those rings are really evil. My daddy, Big Durin, used to be really nice, and now he's really mean, and I'm on food stamps. But Disa spent it all on Diet Coke. No way, all on Diet Coke? But she's so rotund and plus-sized. How is that possible? Literally, no one knows, but the rings, Kellogg's, they are evil. No, that definitely cannot be the rings. Not from the Forge of Global Diversity. That is impossible. I'm not lying, bro, and I suspect it was Anatard who tainted them. How much do you really know about that guy? Oh, well, Go-Go-Gadget Galadriel turned up with him once, and he knows how to forge better than me, and then she said to not trust him, and then he turned up a little while later saying he had gifts or something, and then donned a wig. If that ain't the most trustworthy thing I've ever seen, then call me a bloody banner on a battlefield. But while that's happening, Anatard is watching from the balcony. Therefore, he now knows everything. So he heads in trying to hit on the apprentice, telling her that all those visions she had were actually Celebrimbor, who's currently having an emotional meltdown, and it definitely wasn't Sauron. Because you know, she's suspecting Sauron's here, and he needs to make sure that no one realizes he's wearing a fucking wig. Oh, and then completely fucks this entire scene by telling her that she looks like Galadriel. Yeah, telling a woman she looks like a 5'2" stuck-up midget with a permanent stank face is not a compliment. Alright, over to the Númenor normies, who are having a big vigil because a load of Númenors got killed to death in the first season by orcs, but somehow not by the pyroclastic flow. And it's really sad, but the sea is always right, so fuck those dead guys. And as they get to almost fake crying, suddenly the OnlyFans kid gets rocking up with some soldiers. Oh, that must have been the really important job his dad had for him earlier. And he's saying, oi you plonker, what's going on here then? You ain't got a license for this. You guys better get clearing off. This place is going to be turned into an aqueduct, innit? Yeah, no one cares about the Númenor normies, so let's do a speed run on this. OnlyFans kid breaks a statue, then Isildur's dad meat slaps that bitch in the face. So the guy nobody can name fights the OnlyFans kid and then straight up dies. No, he was so important to the plot, everyone cared about him. Oh, and Isildur's dad is now under arrest. Well, I'm glad that's over, so back to Granny Celebrimbor and Anatard, because although this show is a steaming pile of horse shit, at least they're actually concentrating on creating the fucking rings this time. And Celebrimbor is having an utter meltdown telling Anatard that the dwarven rings have gone wrong and they done goofed up big time. But the Mordor meth machine, Walter Sauron, is a manipulating genius telling him that it's totally cool and and he did nothing wrong to make those ranks evil. So Celebrimbor straight up believes him. Well, that was until Anatard throws a donkey in the works and says actually maybe those ranks are evil because, and you'll never believe this audience, Celebrimbor told the Giga Chad Elf King that they weren't making rings when they were, so that means he was lying and that gave the rings AIDS for some reason. Oh no, what do I do, Anatard? I've been such a silly little boy. The Giga Chad Elf King will never let me forge again. Yeah, he'll probably torture you to utter death, then make your corpse's banner on the battlefield. Yeah, he should. Wait, what? Oh, never mind. Man, I've had too much meth today. I tell you what, to undo all of this Otto SpaghettiOs and to make it right, how's about we do even more to your rings and do the whole 9 rangs for mortal men doomed to die? Doomed to what? Oh shit, I done goofed up again. I mean, look, if we go make these rangs, then they won't be evil, but at the same time the dwarven rings will not be evil either, but still You know what? I have absolutely no idea what I'm saying. Let's just go make some damn rangs. Well, that was a satisfying answer, and has thoroughly convinced me to go back on what I said earlier that I would not do. What a great manipulation Sauron just pulled on Granny Celebrimbor. I just wish we know who these 9 mortal men were, so it actually means something to the plot. You know, like see how they will be tempted and corrupted by the rings, exposed by subtle character flaws, like any normal story would do. Instead of just dumping it in our faces, like they did with the dwarven rings. Who are the dwarf lords? What are their character profiles? What are their relations like with Khazad-dûm? What conflicts are there? How do these rings change them? But if we quickly pause my mentally challenged rant there, Durin has somehow now, unknown to anybody, teleported all the way back to Khazad-dûm to tell Big Daddy Durin that those rangs are evil. You know, after spending this entire episode spoon-feeding us that they're evil. Whatever happened to show don't tell? Alright, so just to ruin this show even further, we're about to get dying to death for cringe bigly time, so hold on to your nuts. Because we're heading over to the totally evil Republican orcs, who, if you remember rightly, totally arrested Go-Go Gadget Galadriel on the last episode after she girl bossed too close to the sun. And they are currently bearing down on totally cool Aragion because obviously they teleported there. Oh no, and it also turns out they have totally caged the Go-Go Gadget Galadriel. And that puts her at a massive disadvantage because her stunning cannot beat through that wood. But don't worry, for reasons that are retarded, they let her out so Adar can talk to her. You know, instead of just through the bits of wood. But wait a minute, she's got a knife and that means she can girl boss her way to taking Adar hostage. Fuck me, will they ever stop with this cringe? Anyway, long story short, Adar just told her that they should totally team up, form a heavy metal elf band, and then go defeat Sauron together. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am going to go be sick. Big shout out to all my Patreon boys and guys. Your support is the reason I don't have to eat my neighbor's cat in the Soviet kingdom. Love you all very much.
Subscribe button.
Is always right.